Doing a midday call a little earlier than possible because I have a lot going on. Um, anyway, take a look at this disclosure before we get into it. I'm going to get the link once we get a link, so this way everyone could get and see it. Right now it's 11:13. Here we go. Midday update. SPX, SPY, and more. All right, so first thing I got to do is show you the VTF for disclosure. Hey, what up? Last time you guys saw me, I was in the conference room, and then I was at the trading desk, and I was going over the situation on how to get involved in the S&P or the Qs or the SPYs, and showed you the upper flag breakout. And I know the market was a little odd this morning, when the Apple weakness came in, and then the Credit Suisse downgrade, and then, thank goodness, the president came out because I had a ton of positions. Like when I showed my positions in the morning, I had like 20 positions, and I was ready to manage them. And all of a sudden I saw that quick flash. Something's going on. I saw a quick flash, and what does that mean? Okay, quick flash, and I was able to cover my spies, and I figured Donald had to say something, some kind of China tweet about tariffs, which is I put in the tweets in early my tweet said, hey, you know what? Word is that he's meeting with his guys in the White House. He probably wants to get something cooking prior, and blah blah blah. Anyway, that's that. So here we are. This is the VTF. So on this side is things that I'm flat. So I had a hedge on the spiders, and I covered that. Thank goodness I didn't get long the spiders. I had Uber on. I sold it. D-Dog was a great 2-day trade. Tesla, I've been in for a week from a lot lower, so I sold that today into that big 360 spike. But I do also have the Tesla call spread, which I've been on for about a month. So this I'm looking for a move above 410 to make over 100%. Amazon I had from yesterday, traded through prior day's high, went up 10. I sold that. So and this is stuff that I still have trailing, and this is everybody talking underneath. Okay, lots of different types of things to do. This is the VTF. They get to see everything live as it's happening, plus my pluses when I take it off, and when I add, and when the whole 9 yards. So if you're looking for, if you trade all day long, you should really be on the VTF. If you trade during the week and you want a plan and you want my idea generation and my charts, what you really have to do is you have to click on this. You got to go to t3live.com/Redler all access, because I just got to say that this is just been try it for a month. How could you not try it for a month? I've been doing this for 22 years. I'm up at 4:45. I write a note. I do my morning call video. I update 14 to 20 charts. I come up with ideas. You get to see me execute. Listen, I'm not right 100% of the time, but I'm pretty damn consistent. I like to be consistent because I like to make singles and doubles, because I don't like to strike out. But anyway, let's go back to the chart. So this morning, okay, I showed you the chart of the S&P cash, the SPY, and I was showing you why I really liked it. Why did I really like this setup? Because remember the move from the highs to last week's lows. You had a quick snapback, which was a little bit too fast, too furious. We let the 8-day catch up, getting tight. Fed was behind us, so the play was some people, okay, to be long, just in case they're not at their desk, with a stop at 312.81, which is what I went over this morning. And I think at 6:25 a.m. It's still on my Twitter thing. You could check it out. I tell you as it goes. I don't tell you behind, after the fact. I try and give you tomorrow's newspaper today. Sometimes it works, but anyway, so. And the ad was if it gets above 314.70. For me, that wasn't my ad. That was my cover my hedge, because I had way too many positions on. And but if I had a computer programmed, like some of you do, you could have been programmed to buy it here, and then buy it at 315.48, and it went as high as 317.99. So 317.99 is your new reactionary high. 317.99. Some guys are short verse that, saying, hey, you know what? Proof is in the pudding. Let's see if they put off the tariffs. We're overbought. I don't know. I did it for a cute one up there. But anyway, this was your nice, tight setup. We look for tight setups, okay, that could resolve. That's how you make money as a trader. You can do it a lot of different ways with the tier system. You could be in tier 1 long versus 312.81. Get in tier 2 long when it clears this little trend line even T3, tier 3 long, and then you sell some, and then you hold some. Okay. The Qs look pretty much the same. It also had a nice tight pattern. Got above 205.18, got above 206.05. Looks like it's fading a little bit here. Above the 8-day, we like to be long when things are above the 8-day. This was extended from it, came in, held. Yesterday was your clue with the Fed that, hey, they couldn't sell off the Fed, and Powell's going to be accommodated for at least a year unless crazy inflation and unless the S&P went a lot higher. But anyway, that's that. I didn't play the Qs. I am in the IWM. You saw it on my disclosures. This was fantastic. Okay, we talked about this, 2-year range, which is, which finally, you had this quick little breakout that didn't produce a breakout failure, but everyone was talking about that. It was actually a buyable pullback. And then you had another buyable pullback earlier this week, so I got involved a little bit closer to 160, 160, I would say we're in maybe 162-ish, not quite the lows. And then this morning, they posted a chart, which I post a chart every day, saying I'm long versus 161.94, and I'd like to add above 163.45. I didn't add above it, but I held in, I sold some strength, and I'm in a little bit smaller. To me, it looks like things are starting to fade a little bit off highs. You don't want to see them get back too much. Let's go back to the SPYs for a second. Okay, so, I'll give you another little lesson of what's happening here. If I was looking intraday, so you go to your intraday. This is your intraday on the SPYs. So at this point, I guess we'll see, does this hold? Okay. By the way, this was your first initial move on without anyone knowing what Trump's tweet was, and then this was move 2, and then that was your push. And now I would think that this area would like to hold. I guess it doesn't really have to. If I was long the SPYs, which I'm not on long positions, I would say I think actively I would probably sell some here because I wouldn't want to see that break, and then maybe buy some back here, which is where we broke out from. Or if I was in it for weeks, I wouldn't be that tight. Then you just give yourself back to that prior high of 315 and change, which is right around here. If this market's any good today and it doesn't break this. Where was that prior high? Was, I think, a little bit lower. So there is some room, and we are fading a bit. That's why you saw some positions flat. You could get to your targets. You could sell some. You could hold some if you think they go further. It all depends. For me, like this OH, everyone's like, why didn't you just sell it all? I'm like, you know what? Because I had a great buy in the OHs. It was just a January effect type play. I bought some here, and I sold the most, or not the most, but most of it. Do I think I can get to the 200-day? Yeah. So if I sell it, I'll never revisit it. If I have some on that's insignificant, I'll rebuy it back if I want to do it that way. That's what's hard about Tesla. Like Tesla, like Red Dog, you're in the call spread. You bought the 380s. You just sold the 410s again. You were able to manage, 5-6 points out of it prior on the Cybertruck news on the pull-in. Why'd you sell the stock today? I'm like, well, I have the call spread. I've been in the stock since I think 340 earlier this week, and I think I could manage it. Meaning, buy a little bit of a dip. I was hoping it wouldn't get through this 360 right away, but it did. So it got through the 360. So I was a seller, and now we'll see what's happening. Where did I rebuy it back? I bought it back in here, the stock. Okay, not more options. The stock, because it was back above the 8-day. I like to be in Tesla when it's above the 8-day. But look how extended from the 8-day it is. So I'm like, let me sell some, and hopefully there's a dip to buy back, and then I'm also just going to let my call spread work, because if it gets to 410 in March, I can make almost 200% on my calls to hold it. So anyway, let's take a quick look here too at the intraday. Just went a little bit lower, the intraday. So now, okay, let's do a little exercise. Right now it's 11:22. If I'm going to go to the gym in a little bit and I got a meeting. I've had a long morning already. So if I was long the stock, not the options, I would say this would probably be an area that I would want to see hold. I wouldn't want to see this, this push through the key level, come back lower, and then all of a sudden give back more than half, because all of a sudden that could turn into a topping tail, and then you need more time. So holding this level, so just say if I'm like, maybe I want to go back to my desk and say, hey, you know what? I think Tesla can get back to the highs of the morning. I could be a buyer and I could put my stop now in below the morning low. Not the morning low, but this recent pivot area, which is like 356. I would put it at 356.50. So I'd be risking $2 to get back in the trade. But I'm kind of not in a rush to get back in this trade, just because I have the call spread. So I could play it with when it's a little bit more perfect, when it's not as extended from the 8-day. So anyway, this is Tesla, and the reason why I think it's going to go to 420 is because I think it's going to take out this 380 at some point. Okay, it's come from a pretty long distance, so it's got to go sideways a little bit, and then the measured move really from this 180 is the overthrow. Just say 260 to 3 to 120. That's $500. It could even be more than that. So Tesla could be $500 next year, in my humble opinion, if they keep firing on all cylinders and they get a few things go their way. But anyway, I'm long the 380 calls, and I sold the 410s for March. It's only the first quarter. There's 4 quarters in a year, so there'll be lots of ways to trade it, lots of setups. But if you want to follow me like this way, that's okay. But if you want to read my note every day and you want to follow my entries and exits and this and that, and you trade full time, what you got to do is you got to go to this slide and just try it for a month. Try Red Roll Access for a month. Okay, I think that you do that, and you're gonna buy it for the year, and then we'll be friends, and you'll be in my community for decades. If depending on how old you are and how long I last. I'm 47 now, so I think I got a decade left. Yeah, it's thinking about a decade left. All right, so Facebook, a little annoying. Why is it a little annoying? Well, pushed above, what is this, 202.63, pushed above this, and no traction. That's why sometimes, okay, like look, you can do it 2 different ways. This is choppy, but the chart looks good. Why? I was holding 200. So some are long, meaning like me, I'm long versus 200. That would be a stop, or maybe even a little tighter. And others might want to add above 203.15 or 203.80, to have a move kind of like we just saw with the SPYs up to here or more. But if you happen to buy strength and it doesn't have a momentum and it doesn't hold those strength, it ruins your average cost, and you could lose money on the extra. You might be making money on what you had overnight, but then losing money on what you put on extra because it wasn't ready and it didn't hold the momentum level. Oops. So, whoops, I was just on the the slide I wasn't talking about here, but this was, this is your Tesla. I would pushed above, okay, and didn't hold it. So if you were playing for it to get above and stay above this area, this downtrend line, you had to get rid of that momentum shares. The momentum's not there. If you're in it still, just say you had 500 shares. Just say 500. And you said, I'm going to give it to 200. Then you're still in that 500 shares because you're long versus 200. If you said, okay, if it gets above 203.14 on its way to 203.80 or on its way to there, okay, and if you think today's the day it's going to do it, you say, okay, I have 500 shares here, but if it starts going, I want to have 1,500 or I want to have 1,000. And just say you bought 500 shares above 203.14, you'd have to be out of those 500 shares. And then, but still in the 500 shares, you're long versus 200 because, you're trading versus a level, meaning you're trading versus support versus adding for momentum. That's how you use a tier system. And right now, looks a little annoying. Apple, what are you doing? That was like pain in the butt today. I lost money in Apple. Came in long. I was definitely thinking it's closed really well. Why wouldn't it be above 271, near 273 or 275, heading into the weekend, heading into maybe a China deal, heading into, because this has been the strongest stock. And then again this morning, just to give you the mind of a trader, I wake up in the morning, I'm like, oh, let me look at my phone and see what the futures are doing, because I had 19 positions in a spider hedge, and I look, I'm like, oh, SPYs are up 60 cents. I'm like, Apple will be up $1.50. That's cool, because then I also have Facebook that should be up, and Amazon that should be up like 10, and then I have Tesla, and I have all these things. So okay, I lose a little bit on my hedge, but I have freaking 18 positions. And then I look at Apple. I'm like, why is Apple down 80 cents and SPYs are up 50 cents? So I get in the morning, we do our videos like we do. I did it in the conference room. Then by the time I sit down, Apple's down like $1.20, and futures are still up. I'm like, does anyone on the VTF? I'm like, does anyone know the note? And then finally it starts getting hit. Oh, CS says iPhone sales are going to be weaker, or year over year they're weaker. So I just quickly hit it out, because again, from here to here, My trade was to buy adverse 268 for a trade through here to keep going, kind of like what I did here for that and here for that. So once it got below 268.50 in pre-market, I'm like, let me get out. By the time I got back from the morning call video, it was 267. I felt good about it, and then all of a sudden I knew today would be a crazy little day. And then, the news came out at 9:35 and it ripped. I did not buy Apple back, and now it seems as if it's getting weaker. Traded through 270 to 110, couldn't hold it, and now it's coming back in. So maybe that's a reason why some high beta tech names are getting weaker. So be careful here if this turns into a red bar. And be careful if the SPYs turn into, I don't think it will, but we can get rid of this one now. I want to make sure that this holds this for the day. I have a feeling they could isolate Apple. Apple's been so strong. There's so many other good names out there right now. Like a Microsoft. This was also a strategy today. Well, but look at what this did. So if you were long versus 150, it pushed through 152.50 and came back below. So, you have to be able to massage your positions because there is a chance, I guess, that they won't turn this into some kind of sell the news. And if they do, like A, you don't want to be caught in momentum shares that don't hold momentum levels. Then B, you don't want to be caught in things that have had a big move that sort of turn into a red dog reversal sell. So just be aware of that. So, 11:29, there's lots of day left. Amazon was great for me. I bought it yesterday, traded it through 17.50, sold 17.60. I'm done. Another 2-day trade with Amazon. What's it doing? Coming off a little bit. Traded through 17.50, gave you a trade. My sell was 17.60. Went to what? 17.63. Coming in a little bit. Okay. We did that here. This trade was much better. Obviously, it was cleaner. That was during Thanksgiving week. But then this should not have happened, and then this should not have broke here if it was going to be any good. So that was most people's stops. King and queen formation where a green bar is matched by a red, breaks below the prior two lows. You get out. Maybe get short. Some guys are actually short Roku. Why are they short Roku? Well, look at this inside wedge. Look at that. Okay, yesterday I was looking for it to break out. It didn't. My sell rules worked well because I was long it. And once it went red, I got out of it and I tweeted to all other all access, I'm done with Roku. I'm not sure what it's going to do. It's got an unopened gap that they couldn't get filled, so the bears still have control. And like today, this morning, if you read my note, I said if it breaks 143 and you're looking to get short, that's your entry, especially if it stays below. And now this has broken to the downside, and this wedge is now in motion, and it's definitely not a long, but definitely could see lower prices here. No, it could see a lot lower than that. It can even go to this rising area. But anyway, this is your new point of reference, and it's heading lower as we speak. Below the moving averages. We like Roku when it's above the moving average, showing momentum until you had a red dog reversal sell. Remember that? We're above the moving averages until you had a red dog reversal sell, and then here you had a bear flag and it stayed below. Now it's back below. It's not a long. It's not a momentum trade. It could be a short. It could go lower. Okay, that's Roku. That's what the chart is telling me. We'll see. Some of the wellness names, not doing a whole lot. CGC is long, it's hanging in here. We were buying in here at a decent move. We'll see what's next. And that's really it. GDX, I bought some just to hedge. I hate this friggin' thing. I bought the $28 calls yesterday because it looked like it was going to break above it, and said, I went out to February just in case, gold goes, because all the bugs like, did you see gold yesterday? I'm like, all right, let me buy some calls because I hate trading it, especially since most of the moves happen overnight and risk is premium paid. So I'm in the calls. Wow, look at the size of this bar. Talking about that, I am in Goldman Sachs. Nice little breakout here. I don't have great prices, but it seems like it can continue, so I'm going to stay in it. I would think maybe 230 plus. Some guys who are fast were able to buy Goldman Sachs when it took out this area, so it held 220 and went. So the banks are real strong today. Remember Bank of America, we had a nice move there for 3 points or so. And I switched from Bank of America to going, wow, look at that move. We're buying here. I think I sold it into, I think somewhere around here, and I felt good about myself. And now, can't be in every trade. So with that said, keep massaging your positions. It's December 12th. There's still, some more banter that could happen before the trade tariff, deadline. Make sure you know what you're in, know why you're in it, have your preparation. For those prepared today, when the tweet happened, you knew that it was going to be something positive, and you had lots of ways to cover shorts, get long, get longer, and then manage positions. And the only way you can be able to do that with confidence is if you have a plan and you know your plan so you can execute fast. Some guys were asking me about my my market outlook for 2020. Well, I've been doing it for 8-9 years, and here it is. You can go to t3live.com/report. Had lots of situations last year that worked, a few that were up 100 to 300% in the first quarter. I think I could have a few of those again, which is, for compliance. Yeah, I might not, but I do think I will. And some also say to me, like, Red Dog, if you would just put all your money from your active account, your swing account, your options account, and your box account in your 12 to 14 names, you make a hell of a lot more money, because they usually all work out versus trading every day. But if I did that, what would I do? What would I do every day? I'd get before 45 and go for a run with my dog, which would be great. But then what would I do? I wouldn't be able to talk to you. I wouldn't be able to talk to my community. I wouldn't be able to trade. These are all things that I love to do. So find a routine that you love to do and hopefully do it well and keep evolving. See you later. Bye-bye.